Some billionaires buy rockets, some buy football teams, and some, they collect cars worth more than your entire city block. These are the 20 richest people on Earth. And spoiler alert, one of them is so rich they could buy a super yacht every week for a year and barely notice. Smash that like button if you're ready, because we're diving in. Number 20, Amancio Ortega, $90 billion. At number 20, we've got Amancio Ortega, the fashion kingpin behind Zara. And here's the wild part. This billionaire doesn't roll around in flashy designer suits or diamond watches. Nope, he's famous for dressing like your chill uncle at a backyard barbecue. Polo shirt, trousers, done. But don't let the dad fit fool you. Ortega turned fast fashion into a $90 billion empire by getting runway trends into shopping malls before the models even went home. Zara stores could copy, produce, and stock a new design in just 2 weeks, something that made luxury fashion houses sweat bullets. And while he doesn't flaunt his wealth like other billionaires, Ortega owns huge chunks of real estate around the world. Skyscrapers in Madrid, luxury blocks in New York, and even properties on Miami's swankiest strips. Imagine buying an entire building instead of an Airbnb. Number 19, Rob Walton, $92 billion. Sliding in at number 19 is Rob Walton, heir to the Walmart fortune. Yep, the guy who made his billions selling socks, cereal, and inflatable pool toys to just about everyone on the planet. But here's where it gets fun. Instead of living quietly off his massive inheritance, Rob went full throttle into the world of cars. He's got one of the most jaw-dropping private collections in existence. Think Ferraris worth $30 million each, rare Porsches that belong in museums, and even a 1962 Shelby Cobra Daytona coupe that collectors would sell their souls for. And if that wasn't enough, Walton also dropped nearly $5 billion to buy the Denver Broncos NFL team in 2022. That's right, he spent more on a football team than most billionaires spend on their entire lifestyle. Owning Walmart wasn't enough, he wanted Sundays too. Number 18, Alice Walton, $95 billion. Coming in at 18, it's Alice Walton, Rob's sister and the only daughter of Walmart founder Sam Walton. If Rob splurges on cars, Alice is the opposite. She's all about art. Alice has built one of the most valuable private art collections in the world, dropping billions on Picasso's, Warhol's, and Georgia O'Keeffe masterpieces. She even founded the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art in Arkansas, which, fun fact, she made free for the public. That's right, a billionaire actually giving away something for free. Despite being worth nearly $95 billion, Alice is famously low profile. You won't catch her flexing a Lamborghini on Instagram. Instead, her flex is hanging a $40 million painting in her living room like it's a family photo. Number 17, Michael Bloomberg, $96 billion. At number 17, we've got Michael Bloomberg, the man who turned Wall Street data into a personal fortune. Back in the early 1980s, Bloomberg created the Bloomberg Terminal, basically the iPhone for stock traders. Every bank, hedge fund, and financial hotshot had to have one, and they weren't cheap. That little invention turned into a global empire worth billions. Today, Bloomberg himself is sitting on a net worth of about $96 billion. And while most billionaires collect toys, Bloomberg actually tried to buy something else, the White House. He spent nearly $1 billion on his 2020 presidential campaign, only to drop out after winning exactly one territory, American Samoa. But hey, when you've got Bloomberg money, that's like buying a scratch-off ticket and losing. You don't even notice. These days, he's focused on philanthropy, giving billions toward climate change, public health, and education. Number 16, Zhang Shenshen, $100 billion. At number 16, meet Zhang Shenshen, also known as the Lone Wolf Billionaire. Why? Because he built his empire almost entirely on his own, outside the usual government or tech circles. Zhang made his fortune in bottled water. Yep, while everyone else was chasing oil, cars, or social media, this guy cashed in on plain old H2O with his company Nongfu Spring. It turns out when you control one of China's biggest water brands, you basically print money, $100 billion of it. But he didn't stop there. Zhang also invested heavily in pharmaceuticals, making his empire both refreshing and life-saving. And unlike other billionaires who love flashing their wealth, Zhang is famously private. No mega yachts, no private jets plastered all over the internet, just a quiet billionaire sitting on a mountain of cash. Number 15, Mark Zuckerberg, $105 billion. At number 15, it's the hoodie-wearing tech overlord himself, Mark Zuckerberg. Love him or hate him, Zuck turned a Harvard dorm project into Facebook and then into Meta, pulling in over $105 billion along the way. Now here's the twist. While most billionaires flex yachts and Lamborghinis, Mark flexes awkward social skills and a wardrobe straight out of a cartoon. Gray t-shirt, jeans, repeat. But don't let the low-key vibe fool you. He owns massive estates in Hawaii, a ranch in California, and enough land to basically build his own private country. And let's not forget the metaverse gamble. Zuckerberg has poured tens of billions into VR headsets and digital worlds. Some say it's genius, others say it's just expensive cosplay for tech nerds. Either way, when you've got $105 billion, even your hobbies come with $1 billion price tag. Number 14, Françoise Bettencourt Meyers, $110 billion. At number 14, we've got Françoise Bettencourt Meyers, the richest woman in the world. She's the heiress to the L'Oreal Cosmetics empire, which her family has run for over a century. Translation, every lipstick, mascara, or face cream you've ever seen at a department store probably added a few dollars to her fortune. With a net worth around $110 billion, Françoise doesn't just sit on her wealth. She's also an accomplished author who's written books about religion and Greek mythology. Imagine being so rich that writing a 1,000-page book is your side hustle. But make no mistake, her real power move is expanding L'Oreal into nearly every corner of the globe. The brand dominates beauty aisles from Paris to New York to Tokyo, and because, let's be honest, humans will never stop buying shampoo, her fortune keeps growing year after year. Fun one, if you had $110 billion, would you rather launch your own luxury fashion brand or buy a famous cosmetics company? Drop fashion or cosmetics in the comments. Number 13, Carlos Slim Hey Lou, $118 billion. At number 13, we've got Carlos Slim Helú, often called the Warren Buffett of Mexico. At one point, he was actually the richest man in the world, beating out even Bill Gates. Slim made his fortune through his company América Móvil, the largest telecom provider in Latin America. Translation, every time someone makes a phone call, scrolls social media, or watches cat videos in Mexico, there's a good chance Carlos Slim is getting paid. But here's the kicker, his empire isn't just phones. Slim has investments in construction, real estate, mining, and even a chunk of the New York Times. The man's portfolio is basically a Monopoly starter pack, and despite being worth $118 billion, Slim is surprisingly low-key. No flashy yachts, no gold-plated cars. He's known for living in the same house he's had for decades. That's like keeping your first apartment, except your rent is, well, ownership. Number 12, Mukesh Ambani, $120 billion. At number 12, we've got Mukesh Ambani, the richest man in India and the head of Reliance Industries. His empire stretches across oil, telecom, and retail. Basically, if it's big business in India, Ambani probably has a piece of it. But here's where things get outrageous. Ambani lives in Antilia, a 27-story skyscraper in Mumbai that's worth over $2 billion. This isn't a house, it's a vertical palace. It's got a staff of 600 people, 3 helipads, its own temple, a movie theater, and even a snow room that literally makes artificial snow in one of the hottest cities on Earth. Talk about overkill. And if that wasn't enough, Ambani also owns one of the most valuable cricket teams in the world, the Mumbai Indians. When he's not running billion-dollar companies, he's running billion-dollar leagues. Number 11, Sergey Brin, $122 billion. At number 11, we've got Sergey Brin, one of the co-founders of Google. You know that little website you probably use today before ending up on YouTube. Brin and Larry Page created Google in the late 1990s, and the search engine quickly became the backbone of the internet. Today, Brin's net worth sits around $122 billion, thanks to Google's parent company, Alphabet. Now here's the fun part. While most billionaires flaunt yachts or private jets, Brin went another direction. He's known for funding futuristic projects, like flying cars and airships that look straight out of a sci-fi movie. And of course, he's got the toys too, luxury yachts, properties across the globe, and one of the largest private planes you can legally own. Number 10, Steve Ballmer, $125 billion. Cracking the top 10 is Steve Ballmer, the former CEO of Microsoft and current owner of the Los Angeles Clippers. Ballmer is one of the most energetic billionaires you'll ever see. His stage presentations back in the Microsoft days were basically rock concerts. Imagine a hype man for Windows software. When he retired from Microsoft, Ballmer didn't just chill on a yacht. Instead, he dropped a cool $2 billion to buy the Clippers NBA team in 2014, which at the time was the biggest purchase in sports history. And considering how NBA franchise values have exploded, that's looking like a genius move, and he's also one of the most generous billionaires on the list, pledging billions to education, healthcare, and fighting poverty. But don't get it twisted, Ballmer still lives like a baller. Between mega mansions, private jets, and courtside seats at every Clippers game, life looks pretty good at $125 billion. Number 9, Larry Page, $127 billion. At number 9, we've got Larry Page, the other genius behind Google. While Sergey Brin is busy chasing flying cars, Larry's the guy who quietly helped turn a dorm room project into one of the most powerful companies on the planet. His net worth? Around $127 billion. Page has always been the more private one compared to his co-founder, but don't think he lives small. He owns sprawling estates in California, private islands in the Caribbean, and he's invested heavily in futuristic tech. Think self-driving cars, AI research, and even backing companies trying to extend human life. Yeah, Larry might literally be trying to live forever. And while he keeps a lower profile than most billionaires, his influence is massive. Every time you type something into Google or use YouTube, Larry Page is cashing in, even if you're watching cat videos at 3 in the morning. Number 8, Warren Buffett, $130 billion. At number 8, we've got the Oracle of Omaha himself, Warren Buffett. With a net worth of about $130 billion, Buffett is the ultimate example of boring but brilliant. While other billionaires blow money on mega yachts and sports teams, Warren still lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. That's less than the price of a new Tesla today. Buffett made his fortune through Berkshire Hathaway, investing in everything from Coca-Cola to Apple. He's basically the grandmaster of long-term investing. Buy good companies, hold forever, and watch your bank account explode. But here's the funny part. Despite his insane wealth, Warren is famous for being frugal. He eats McDonald's for breakfast, drives a modest Cadillac, and once said he doesn't see the point of owning a yacht because it would just sit there. Imagine being worth $130 billion and still cutting coupons. Question for you, would you rather live like Buffett, super frugal but insanely rich, or like the flashy billionaires with mansions and yachts everywhere? Comment frugal or flashy. Number 7, Bill Gates, $135 billion. At number 7, we've got Bill Gates, the man who basically put a computer in every home and office on Earth. With a net worth of around $135 billion, Gates co-founded Microsoft, creating the software that powers millions of devices. But here's the twist. These days, Gates is better known for giving money away than making it. Through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, he's donated tens of billions to fight disease, improve education, and even help eliminate polio. If philanthropy was a sport, Gates would already have the gold medal. Of course, he still lives the billionaire life too. Gates has a $130 million mansion called Xanadu 2.0 in Washington, complete with an underwater music system, a 60-foot swimming pool, and a massive private library. He also owns a fleet of private jets and one of the largest farmland portfolios in the US. So yeah, he's doing just fine. Number 6, Larry Ellison, $140 billion. At number 6, we've got Larry Ellison, co-founder of Oracle and one of the flashiest billionaires on this list. With about $140 billion, Ellison has built a reputation for living like a James Bond villain in the best way possible. For starters, he literally owns his own island. Yep, he bought 98% of the Hawaiian island of Lanai for $300 million. On it, he's built luxury resorts, restaurants, and renewable energy projects. Imagine putting owns an island on your resume. His real estate portfolio is just as crazy. Ellison has mansions in Malibu, a Japanese-style estate in California, and even historic properties in Italy. And of course, he's a massive yacht guy, once owning the 288-foot Rising Sun, which cost around $200 million to build. Ellison isn't just about toys though. He's also a huge player in tech innovation, investing in everything from Tesla to medical research. He's the definition of a billionaire who refuses to live quietly. Number 5, Mark Zuckerberg, $142 billion. Wait, yes, you saw him earlier, but thanks to shifting markets and tech valuations, Zuckerberg makes another appearance higher up on the list in real rankings. By early 2025, Meta's surge in AI and VR investments pushed him back into the top 5 with a fortune of around $142 billion. Zuck has gone all in on virtual reality and AI, betting billions that the future of social interaction will happen in digital worlds. Whether he's right or wrong is still up in the air, but that gamble has already added tens of billions to his net worth. Lifestyle-wise, Zuckerberg is stepping out of the hoodie era and into full billionaire mode. He's been spotted driving rare hypercars, hosting lavish private events, and expanding his Hawaii mega compound that's now worth well over $500 million. At this point, he could build his own private civilization on the island. And here's the kicker. For someone once memed as the most robotic billionaire alive, he's suddenly looking a lot more like one of the flashiest. Number 4, Jeff Bezos, $160 billion. At number 4, we've got Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, and the guy who made 2-day shipping feel like a basic human right. With a fortune around $160 billion, Bezos has gone from selling books online to running a global empire that touches nearly every part of modern life. But here's the fun part. After stepping down as Amazon CEO, Bezos has leaned hard into the billionaire lifestyle. He's bulked up, started dating Lauren Sanchez, and cruises the seas on his $500 million mega yacht, which, by the way, has its own support yacht just to carry the helicopter. That's Yachtception. He's also behind Blue Origin, his private space company, which is all about sending tourists and astronauts into orbit, because apparently when you've conquered Earth, the next logical step is outer space. Love him or hate him, Bezos is the poster child for what happens when you turn an online bookstore into a trillion-dollar empire. Number 3, Elon Musk, $185 billion. At number 3, it's the man who tweets like a meme account but runs companies like a sci-fi villain, Elon Musk. With a fortune of about $185 billion, Musk is behind Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and The Boring Company. Basically, if it sounds like it came out of a comic book, Elon probably owns it. Tesla turned electric cars from boring science projects into status symbols, while SpaceX became the first private company to launch astronauts into orbit. And then there's Neuralink, where Musk is literally trying to put computer chips in human brains. Because why not? But Musk's lifestyle is just as wild as his company's. He's been known to sleep on factory floors, crash at friends' houses despite being a billionaire, and then turn around and buy a $66 million private jet. Oh, and let's not forget his brief stint as the world's richest man, a title he lost and regained more times than anyone can count. No matter what you think of him, Musk is the ultimate headline machine. Number 2, Bernard Arnault and family, $200 billion. At number 2, we've got Bernard Arnault, the French luxury tycoon who runs LVMH, the company behind Louis Vuitton, Dior, Tiffany & Company, and dozens of other high-end brands. Basically, if it screams luxury, chances are Arnault owns it. With a net worth of around $200 billion, Arnault has built a fashion empire that dominates the luxury market worldwide. He's often called the king of luxury, and it fits. This is a man who can make handbags more valuable than gold. Arnault lives a lifestyle as polished as his brands. Think Parisian mansions, sprawling estates in France, and a private art collection that could rival actual museums. He's also known for keeping a close-knit family dynasty. His children all hold major roles in the LVMH empire, making this not just a fortune, but a family business on steroids. If Musk and Bezos represent the future of tech, Arnault represents timeless luxury and elegance, and he's just a few billion away from the crown. Number 1, Elon Musk and Bernard Arnault flip-flop, but who's on top? $210 billion. And here we are, number 1. Depending on the day, the stock market, and maybe even Elon's latest tweet, the world's richest person crown flips between Elon Musk and Bernard Arnault. But as of now, sitting at around $210 billion, the top spot belongs to Elon Musk once again. That's right, the man behind Tesla, SpaceX, and a million controversies has edged out Arnault to reclaim the number 1 spot. His fortune soars and dips wildly with Tesla's stock price. But when it's up, Elon is untouchable. Think about it. One man controls electric cars, private space travel, brain chip experiments, underground tunnels, and a social media platform used by hundreds of millions. That's not just billionaire territory. That's supervillain starter pack. Whether you see him as a genius, a troll, or both, Musk's empire and constant media spotlight guarantee one thing: he's not leaving the top of this list anytime soon.